All right, today we're diving into something really fascinating. It's a deeply personal philosophy on how to build a life of, lasting happiness and resilience. The author actually calls it an architecture for joy, which I think is a great way to put it. So it all kicks off with this one big question. I mean, have you ever looked at someone, maybe in a super high stakes meeting or even just a tense family argument, and you just think to yourself, how on earth are they so calm right now? Well, turns out the author of our source material got asked this so often that they decided to really figure out the answer.
And the answer they came up with? It's this personal framework they call the theory of happiness, or TOH for short. And it's a really big idea because it kind of redefines what it means to be happy by linking it directly to one single, incredibly powerful emotion.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What exactly is this theory of happiness? So, at its very core, the theory proposes something that's, well, it's both simple and pretty radical. It says that real, lasting happiness, the kind that sticks around, it doesn't come from your achievements or money or your status. Nope. It's directly and totally linked to just one thing, the feeling of love. But here's the thing. According to this theory, our relationship with that feeling isn't, static. It's not a one and done thing. It actually evolves as we grow, and it takes us on a pretty incredible journey. So the theory kind of maps it all out in stages. First, you've got childhood, which it calls the beginner level, right? This is that carefree happiness that's just pure, simple love. Then, when we hit adulthood, a lot of us get to the next level. This is where a much deeper, more profound feeling of love gets unlocked, usually, from a first big romance. But the final stage, the real goal, is what it calls the realization. And that's all about making a conscious choice to grow that feeling inside yourself, instead of always waiting for someone else to give it to you. And I want you to think about that next level moment for a second. The author points out that when that feeling is unlocked, happiness just seems to be on autopilot. The world literally feels brighter, everything seems to go your way, and that feeling of joy is just there, by default. Now, this all sounds pretty amazing, right? But it brings up a huge question. If this feeling is so powerful, why doesn't it last for most of us? And that leads us straight to what the theory calls the big mistake, the critical error that almost everyone makes. Yeah, this is really the heart of the whole thing. If this feeling of love is the master key to happiness, why does it feel like it has an expiration date for so many people? And this is where we get to a really, really crucial distinction. The theory makes a clean break between two things: the feeling of love itself, which is the true internal source of our happiness, and the person, who is just the catalyst. Think of them as the key that helps unlock the feeling that was already inside you. And right there, that's the mistake. We get it backwards. We start focusing all our energy on the catalyst, the person, and we totally lose sight of the feeling itself, which was the actual source of all that joy to begin with. So what happens when we do that? Well, this misplaced focus creates a kind of dependency. We start to believe that we need that specific person to feel happy. You throw in all the mounting pressures and responsibilities of adult life on top of that, and, well, that incredible feeling starts to get buried. It just slowly fades away. Okay, but the theory doesn't just point out the problem and leave us hanging. It actually offers a really powerful solution. This next part, this is all about completely transforming our approach to happiness. You see, the author suggests that a few people have this major breakthrough. A light bulb goes off. They realize that the amazing feeling was never in the other person to begin with. It was inside of them the whole time. They learn that happiness isn't something you go out and find. It's something you can actually generate from within. And this isn't just something that happens to you. It's an active process. It starts with that big realization, really getting to profound depth of that feeling. Then you move on to integration, which is where you learn to live with that feeling every single day. And finally, you become a source of that love yourself. You're no longer waiting to receive it, you're actually radiating. And the payoff from making this internal shift is just, it's profound. Lasting happiness isn't something you're chasing anymore. It becomes your new normal, your default state. You start to notice you recover from setbacks way faster. You can handle tough situations without all the stress because your well-being just isn't tied to what's happening on the outside anymore. There's a quote from the source material that just sums this up perfectly. It says, "Once we become source of love, then we learned the art to remain happy." You hear that? It's not about finding love so you can be happy. It's about becoming love so you can master the art of being happy. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if happiness isn't something you find, but something you become? What if we've all been looking for it in the wrong places? And what if it's not some external treasure you have to hunt for, but an internal state you can actually learn to build yourself?